so it would work well for them. No matter what Unitas really bring. I mean, any healer, I think, from Oxygen, I feel like Warrior Shadow Priest would be in a good position. So I do wonder, is Method NA going to break from their mold? Because they really haven't had to. They've been able to play just Windwalker Mage and Warrior Mage for, years. So this may be the first time that they have to break off of home. But they're not in game one.
I was going to say, I feel like this is a matchup where you can still lock in Warrior Mage.
So, completely wrong. Method NA not going to be experimenting at all in this one. And Unitas, they're not playing Holy Priest. They're not playing Assassination Rogue. They're not playing Dagger in the back or Dagger in the dark. And, yeah, it's just going to be kind of a same old for these two teams. Typically, you'd expect Method NA to come out ahead in this one. Yeah, of course, it's okay. They can play whatever they want. It's their pick.
Yeah,
right,
so...
well, let's see. Let's see where Aiden decides to open up. He gets found in stealth, unfortunately. So, let's see what they do. Polymorph and Kidney Shot at the same time over onto Drake, just getting aggressive on him. But Cerulean finds a Polymorph of his own onto Oxygen. And CMD is just going to get absolutely blasted here by Drake in the opening stages of this match.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to have a kind of a defensive opener where the first thing you do is peel the enemy mage. Unitas, they hold on to all of their damage. I mean, except for Aiden's that one Shadow Dance, but it's not the worst thing. They need to find a big setup now. Drake, juicy target for sure for Unitas. Brain, also pretty good target. They gotta go after Drake. There's the Smoke Bomb. There's a Kidney Shot. Ooh. Double Dragon's Breath by Cerulean. There's the Re-Cheap Shot. And this is bad for Unitas. They drop the Smoke Bomb. They go for the all-in play. They don't get the Trinket of Drake. Oh, Cerulean now using his Combustion there. So the Oxygen getting blinded on his Trinket. Cerulean's gonna be able to find a Re-Sheep. TMD using the Alter Time here. Very nice for him. He's gonna be able to go back in time, but he's actually getting healed into it a little bit there, but it doesn't matter too much. TMD not getting counterspelled here on his Polymorph attempt as well, so he's not going to be able to follow up the blind there. Instead, it's going to be Aiden there with the Sap. That's going to get Blessing of Protection from Rain, and now once again, CMD could be in a lot of trouble.
I mean, as long as CMD doesn't die here, I think it's over. Drake died by the sword before Shadowy Duel. CMD just needs to stay alive. He's Cauterizer going to proc. No, it's devastating. He got seeded. They got everything they needed to get from the Warrior to be able to win the game. They just couldn't hold it together long enough to go for it. Aiden's dance comes up. He might even just stay in the game. I wouldn't actually be surprised. They're going for Shadow. Oh, he got feared on his Trinket. That's an easy tap out. You're not going to do anything at that point. All right, game one, go to Method NA. They are not falling for any of the one dance shenanigans.
No, he was playing two dance, wasn't he?
Yes, it was one dance. It updated after the gate opened to one dance.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I think. I'm pretty sure.
No, you're right. He was playing Dark Shadow. He's playing Dark Shadow, Deeper Stratagem, but wait, why doesn't he play Dagger in the back? Dagger in the Dark.
That's all you want. That's all you want.
Yeah.
You'll see it someday, Zico, I believe.
Well, even here, like, if they went for that dual win condition, I mean, Drake still had his Trinket because he was able to hold on to it in the Smoke Bomb. So it's quite clear what they wanted to do here. They want to force Drake's Trinket, force his die by the sword, and then they want to Shadowy Duel him, maybe have CMD come in with a little bit of air support, maybe drop a little Flame Strike or something outside the duel, and that's about it. But CMD, unfortunately, procs his Cauterize, becomes an egg. The egg gets scrambled. Aiden goes for the duel, but we all saw what happened. He just trinketed and feared him, and that was it. And Method NA going to be able to keep playing their Warrior Mage and take game number one.
I mean, they definitely they played that one out really, really well, claiming game number one, like you said. And I just feel like, I mean, obviously, when you look back at that game, bit of a throw there on the side of Unitas. I mean, CMD still had his Ice Block. And yeah, I'll make the joke. Yeah, I know what it's like to be there, but seriously, I mean, these things do happen. And they did have a decent win condition there. I mean, Drake, very susceptible to that Shadowy Duel. If they had gotten the Trinket before Shadowy Duel, that would have been even better. They could have just closed it out. But I still think Unitas is in this one.
Well, Ven, going off of what you just said, since you have been there, do you feel like Unitas it's in their best interest to play that same matchup once again?
I don't think they'll change. I really don't see Unitas playing anything else. Like, really. Truly. They have Yoski on the roster, so maybe they could try something else. Maybe see BM Hunter, Asa Rogue, or something like that. Like,
no.
What do you think?
You sound like
Why
me.
not?
Wait, you sound like me. Like, what? BM Hunter, Asa Rogue.
Could happen, right? I still feel like there's lots of like little experiments that could happen. Yeah, you know, not everything's been played out yet. I don't think too many teams have tried the Assassination Rogue BM Hunter. You know, you're kind of like a Feral Druid on the Assassination Rogue. You got the bleed damage, right?
No, you're out of it.
Yeah.
No, don't enable this, Aya. Don't enable this, okay?
Yeah, it sounds
Listen,
good.
I'm an agreeable person, okay? Obviously, I'm gonna, think whatever you guys say is Bible, but Unitas, I mean, you guys are right. They could certainly try something a little bit interesting. Isn't this the team that played like Prot Paladin? I think in their past.
I wanted
at some point
them
before
to, but they never did. I don't think.
They have. I thought they put Yasko.
Oh, they went back
on
to
Prot.
this.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
a
so
while.
confused.
It was a while ago, but go ahead, Ben.
No, I'm just confused. Unitas now is doing what we thought they would do in the blind pick, which is play the Holy Priest Assassination Rogue. So obviously they went maybe for some surprise tactics in that game number 1, trying to go for that all-in shadowy duel, but didn't work out. And I think a lot of teams are opting to play the Assassination Rogue instead of the Subtlety Rogue into Warriors in general, just because Warriors with their Intervene, they can shut down setups of the Sub-Rogue really, really easily. Whereas with the Assassination Rogue, those setups are, you have a lot more consistent damage, so it's not so devastating if Intervene happens during the stun. Outside of the stun, you still have some damage, whereas Subtlety Rogue has no damage outside of the stun. So I think that's typically the thought process of these rogue players, and why Assassination for a lot of them is preferred.
All right, well, let's see if it works out for them. Game number 2 here, best of 5 series once again. We're nearing the end of our day with this region, so let's see if Unitas can tie this one up and potentially turn it around.
I'm curious to see if they're going to go after the mage, because I think it was the Golden Guardians playing the same matchup. They went after the mage a lot and actually were able to win like that. So we're going to see. I think that was with the Paladin healer though, but we're going to see if they go after the mage here with a Holy Priest on their roster, or if they're going to go after the warrior here once again. I personally think I want to see more mage strategies here. We're going to see what they decide to open on here. It looks like they're going to go after Ceralium. Maybe not. They're going after Drake here. Full Psychic Scream. Drake, preemptive Bladestorm. CMD looking for the sheep. Gets counterspelled by Ceralium. Ceralium lands his own sheep onto Oxygen. Smoke Bomb gets dropped. Aiden not able to find any heat blind or anything onto Brain. It is DR'd from that fear, so he's not going to be able to do anything with this opener. Just basically wasting that Smoke Bomb. CMD is actually, he has a turtle form there with his Knight's Face, so that's a spoiler alert. And we're going to see CMD now basically weather that storm, no problems whatsoever. Get a sheep here onto Ceralium, looking to get aggressive onto Brain here. Big damage coming out onto Brain, but Brain is going to be able to hold on here once again.
Why is that a spoiler alert?
We literally saw it.
Have we progressed that far in the campaign yet? To get the turtle form?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I get it now. Sorry, I'm a little slow. Okay, much, like a turtle.
Like the turtle.
Okay. Brain's mana not in a good position, and I think that is the main strength of the Assassination Rogue, is that you're just better at dampening than the Subtlety version. You get the triple crowd control with the Chastise to remove Intervene. I would say it's looking good for them so far. This is a Vendetta push. Drake's not looking comfortable, leaps over, but a sap after the Polymorph. Vendetta still ticking away. Aiden babysitting Brain with crowd control, going for a swap to Brain maybe, stunning him up in the south, trying to finish Drake. Do they have anything to do it? He's down to half. He's charging in, goes into battle stance. I mean, Brain's out of crowd control, but Aiden still could do a lot of damage. He's keeping him low health. Drake's trying to tear into CMD. Here comes another kidney shot in battle stance. Blessing of Protection going to have to come out, and that doesn't trade for a blind, and it doesn't trade for a Vendetta. So that Blessing of Protection, not a super valuable one onto the Warrior. Definitely creating opportunities for Unitas in this game here in game number 2. They're looking really good. I'm surprised they didn't just pick this in game 1.
Yeah, Drake getting really, really low. They force out the ice block. CMD, a little bit afraid. Oxygen into a hammer. Drake, he might just get dropped. So close. 2% health. He gets the sacrifice from Brain. Yeah, but this pressure from Unitas is
Ooh,
immense at
CMD.
the same time, though. CMD in so much trouble. He's got the cauterize. Can they proc the cauterize? Oxygen has to hold on. He manages to get the Guardian Spirit, but cauterize procs at the same time. CMD still in a lot of trouble. Oxygen has to find some heals quick. Finally, getting a big one. Brain burning through a lot of mana, burning through a lot of cooldowns. Doesn't have too much left. Got his trinket. He's got the Divine Shield. Needs to trade out early as Drake is under a lot of pressure at the same time. CMD getting absolutely crushed with the Spear of Bastion. Not too much damage to follow it up, though. Trying to just run away. Still crowd control onto Oxygen. CMD just running with his altar time. Did it get dispelled? No, it did not. CMD still managing to avoid the damage, but we'll see. Oxygen needs to get line of sight and still hasn't topped him off. Oxygen really struggling here to actually keep him alive. CMD on the run at the same time. Drake's into trouble. Full blind sap goes out. Divine Shield trades. Unitas not allowing Method to walk away with this one easily. This is a really close game.
I think that's
He's
it.
really good. He has Smoke Bomb available here. Aiden could drop it to stop a heal, but no, he's going to maybe save it for that next kidney shot. I don't know if Drake has his human ratio for it or not, but if they kidney Smoke Bomb and they get one sheep onto Brain, that's game over. Brain has no cooldowns left. He has nothing, no sacrifice. There's a Smoke Bomb, no trinket available. Big damage. There's the restun. Can they find something onto Brain? Oxygen is chasing for it. He finds it here. It doesn't get War Bannered. That's gotta be it. Mind Games comes through. How are you going to survive? Drake is on 1%. Brain comes out. No way he's going to survive that. He has a reflect onto Brain right now. CMD not able to find the polymorph. He's going for it. Doesn't get it. The Stormbolt shuts it down. There's a kidney shot onto Brain. CMD, if he can find a Dragon's Breath here or a sheep, that could be enough. Double blinding light coming through here from Brain. And Brain has done it. He's keeping Drake alive despite all of that cooldown disadvantage. Against all odds, Drake lives to find another day as if God himself planned it.
A full polymorph on Oxygen, Aiden on the run with Feint, but they're ahead on mana. They might be able to win just purely off pressure. There's no trinket, though, for Oxygen if he gets caught. Aiden gets stunned up by Drake. Big sharpened blade. Oxygen goes for a big heal. Brain's trying to drink. They need to stop the drink. Aiden moves over, distracts it. Drake in a kidney shot. Oxygen moving in for Chastise. Is there a Psychic Scream to follow this Chastise? Looks like he gets intercepted by an intimidating shout of Drake. Oxygen still chasing him down. Double Psychic Scream. Cerulean has to trink it out. I was not expecting Method NA to be challenged so much in this series against Unitas, but they might be able to still pull it off. Oh, CMD gets pulled back in on his blink. That's devastating. Drake's trying to build up some more pressure. Oxygen, though, he's got the Guardian Angel. Brain has to sacrifice the combustion push. They could swap to Brain with that redirected damage. It'd be kind of risky. They just say better to play it safe than sorry. Keep going after the Warrior. They've got decent damage. Die by the Sword available. Is he really going to have to just press it? Trinket available. Brain's trying to sit it with Die by the Sword, but now that Vendetta window is opening up again as an opportunity. Combustion is rolling for Cerulean. He's trying to counter pressure onto CMD. Can they pot him? They're going to pop that Guardian. Drake leaps back to Brain, trying to line of sight behind the pillar. Cerulean mind controlled way off into the distance right now by Oxygen. Aiden ramping up some combo points. There's a full polymorph. Drake in a pre-Blade Storm and trying to immune the incoming kidney shot. I think they should just swap. Maybe it's too risky. Maybe, I don't know. Oxygen into the blinding light. Such a tough decision. Everyone in crowd control on the side of Unitas. Big push, but that ice block just came off cooldown. Drake pre-channeling Shattering Throw, cracking it, but now caught in a kidney shot. Breaking out of the kidney shot. Aiden going to pre-cloak to stay on target. Is he just going to pop Vendetta here? Try and close out the game. Brain has a Blessing of Protection. He needs to be in crowd control before committing it, but CMD still on the back foot. He's going to go for Vendetta. He gets bopped out of the Vendetta immediately. Now CMD in trouble on the ropes and will get pod tended. Oxygen interrupted, and he's not able to stabilize it. Method NA moved to match point.
I just think it's so crazy how close this game was. Method NA really in the face of adversity there. Drake managed to survive at 2% health. There was so many close calls, but he played it calm, cool, collected, getting the reflex at the right time, the interrupts, charging to get out of line of sight, just doing a great job. And Method NA with this composition, they are looking good. But I have to say, I mean, Unitas, that seemed like a very winnable matchup for them. I could easily see them, putting a few points on the board and maybe even coming back in this series if Method's not careful.
Yeah, it's most definitely possible with Unitas here. I mean, Ven just highlighted how close that game was, almost turning that one in their favor for Unitas, but it's going to be another game win for Method NA. We're going to see how that all went down in those final moments in just a second right here.
I actually can't believe that Drake, he lived when Brain was in that fear. He literally had no buttons available whatsoever. Oxygen was casting mind games on him, and I just can't believe how he was able to survive there. Brain just did a phenomenal job keeping him in the fight with nothing. And then, I mean, at this point, Oxygen doesn't really have any direct ways of healing CMD. There's the Vendetta. If they didn't get that Blessing of Protection on the Vendetta, maybe Aiden would have had enough here to actually seal the deal, but it's Drake proccing the pod and taking it down there from CMD. And I mean, like you guys mentioned, this game could have gone either way. I feel like if Unitas opened up with this could have been a completely different series. They could have been up, 1-0 right now, just playing that in the first game. So this is far from over. And honestly, what are Method NA going to do if Unitas actually beats them with this holy assassination comp? I feel like once they start winning, I don't know what Method NA can actually do to counter it, if they have any good answers for it.
Yeah, curious about that. Do you have any ideas, Ben?
What Method NA can do? Like what different compositions do they have in the Rogue Mage Priest?
Yeah.
What else do they have? I mean,
Shadow Priest Mage.
Shadow Priest Mage could be an option for them. The Shadow Priest Mage Paladin. What else? It's interesting because, like you said, they've been playing quite a bit of Shaman. I feel like the Shaman Shadow Priest Warrior could be a decent option as well, honestly, into the Rogue Mage Priest. Very durable composition, lots of defensive cooldowns you can rotate through, really solid pressure. So that could be an option for them. But for now, I think Method NA, this is the composition that they have the most practice into what Unitas is running. Something they put a lot of time into. I mean, obviously during the Cup stage, it was just all about the Paladin, the Holy Paladin, Fire Mage. But it's interesting how this matchup feels a lot more winnable for the side of Unitas with some of the changes that have come in.
Yes, lots of changes in their favor. Also seeing them run Holy Priest. We talked about it a little bit here in this matchup already. But Subatiz, I want to hear your thoughts. Like, why are we seeing this so much more recently, especially since this patch?
In this series in particular, I mean, I feel like Unitas were already running this before the patch. This seems to be their comp now to try and establish themselves as a team. Assassination Rogue got better with Necrolord getting buffed. It seemed like Rogues didn't really have... Like, most of the Covenant abilities are noted for how much damage they do. And Rogue used to have one in Kyrian with Echoing Reprimand, but Echoing Reprimand got nerfed. And then Rogue suddenly didn't have a Covenant that was, like, super spiky. Now with Ventir being buffed for Subtlety, Necrolord, it looks like for Assassination is the favored pick. Their damage output is a bit more bursty. As far as the side of Brain, just mana reductions on the Paladin, I think, are the big contributing factor. The Holy Priest is actually able to outlast, which wasn't the case. Paladin was just the best cooldown healer, best throughput healer, best mana healer, just best in all regards. Now it's not the case, so this is why we're seeing more healer diversity so far, which is just paying it favor for Unitas, although this comp was already kind of what they were working with before, so it's just getting better for them. There's a good chance they could reverse sweep this.
Okay, well, let's see if they can do that. See how they do in game number 3 here on Empyrean Domain. The last time we saw this map, Cassidy was the one that lost, and he said their team blinded them with this map, so hopefully this one doesn't throw anyone off too bad. It's Method NA versus Unitas, game number 3.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see what Aiden decides to do moving forward. Right now, playing that Necro Lord Assassination Rogue. He's got his shields up. Playing defense. It looks like a nice Blade Storm early on from Drake out of the cheap shot. Full Fear does land. Nicely done. There's no Warbanner coming in from Drake. Good initial crowd control, but at the same time, Cerulean doing a really good job slowing down that opener, getting crowd control on CMD. Drake gets caught into a kidney shot. Can it get dropped? He's so incredibly low. CMD with his combustion right now just ripping out a ton of damage. Nicely done. And Drake, he didn't really have to trade out too much, in all honesty. That was a trinket from Brain, but even though that was such a scary, tense moment, actually, Aiden might just get dropped. Austin gets blinded on his trinket. Can he survive? He tries to just get away. He gets stripped away by Austin. Kidney shot now on Drake, who's overextended. Big mind games. A reversal of pressure. What a back-and-forth game this one is.
Yeah, I really would have loved to see Aiden throw his blind there when Brain trinketed and entered the smoke bomb. If he could have gotten the blind, it could have literally forced a bubble as well there. Just those split-second decisions. If you do them, you can definitely just basically net yourself an entire spell book. But this game is wide open. Aiden has no cooldowns. If he gets stunned, he could easily get taken down. All they need to do is sheep oxygen. There's a DR sheep, stun Aiden, but he's in stealth right now, just chilling right now. And that's exactly what he needs to do. There's a full blind now onto Brain. There's the sheep shot onto Drake, followed by the kidney shot. Big damage coming in. There's the sheep by CMD. This could be big cooldowns here from Brain. This could be the Divine Shield. Nice mind control here by Oxygen. Yes, he's going to drag him behind the pillar there, but it does get interrupted there. Nicely done by Ceralium. And that's going to allow Brain actually to sit through the big CC chain there, the blind and the sap. He's going to be able, or blind and the sheep in this case, and be able to sit through that without having to trade really any big cooldowns. Drake just trading that die by the sword. Bob gets traded for Vendetta, and here we go, full fear. That's it. Peace.
All right. Well, there it is. I mean, that was quite a nice setup coming in from Method NA. Just a little bit of crowd control. I mean, at that point when nobody has Trinket, they get the perfect meteor combustion setup. And there's really not too much Aiden can do in that spot. Method NA asserting dominance in that one. I mean, that was a quick 3-0. But still, Unitas, I feel like there was a lot of signs of life for them in this one, in Game 2 in particular. So definitely can't count them out in this round robin. But if there was any questions about Method NA being shaken by their loss, I feel like maybe those have been answered now.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. That is going to be a very good victory for those guys, and we can see how that all went down in game number 3.
So, I mean, at this point, there is multiple win conditions for both teams. So here, they got a sheep, they got a blind, they got the die by the sword. They wanted to mind control there to let the die by the sword fall off. And honestly, if they could have kept the Shane going instead, I think Oxygen should have pushed in there is number one. If he could have pushed in and tried to back CMD up there to get more Reese, that would have been a lot better. And number two is what we pointed out a little bit earlier. That's Aiden doesn't have Trinket, Oxygen doesn't have Trinket. And if no one has Trinket, Aiden has evasion, but evasion, it doesn't do anything if you're stunned. So if you get Hammer of Justice, it doesn't do anything. If you get Storm Bolted, it doesn't do anything. And both of those spells go through evasion as well. So if you already have it up, you can still use them and you will be affected by it. So they are able to set that up. Nice double fear into Hammer of Justice, into the fattest meteor of the circuit so far. And that's it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are used to